Howdy everyone, it's me once again, the one and only Killer Rodan. So I figured I would of course review yet another obscured low budget feature, obviously, because that's what I do here. It's something from the past, it's low budget, and of course it's probably obscured, so not a whole lot of people would be talking about it, so okay. Vintage. Oh, definitely. Okay, seems like something we'll talk about. So anyway, the horror flick, of course. And here we go, folks. So it's one of these type of movies, and it's a Canadian horror movie. Alrighty then, might as well. I don't see why not. So anyway, like always, let's talk about the plot, shall we? So here we go. So it starts off pretty crazy because the thing is that there is this woman named Elizabeth whom falls to her death from this building. Police eventually do arrive on this scene, obviously. And here's the thing though, these individuals his loss of law enforcement doing find these people do find this crucifix and a small piece of metal gripped to her hand for some reason. So there's this detective who's assigned to the case and soon learns that Elizabeth was this heroin addicted prostitute. And yeah, things get rather wide when you think about it. So okay. Yeah, he determines that the apartment she pretty much leaped from was unoccupied, and that the building also serves as a brothel kind of a thing when it comes to this specific type of business. Of course, leaping to her death, she pretty much, let's say, is a lapsed Catholic, was struggling to get her life in order. Even though technically speaking, there's nothing inherently wrong with prostitution, really, and there's nothing wrong with having a brothel. Those are actually legal, really, when you think about it. But anyway, the detective character does interview this individual named Meg, and who's this maiden of the brothel where Elizabeth was sometimes employed at. She tells him that Elizabeth frankly worked outside of the brothel against Meg's wishes, who felt that it was unsafe, which technically is true. Walking inside of a brothel is actually a lot more safer than doing this kind of thing outside. And this scene right here reminds me of James Bond for some reason. Anyway, as I was saying, so that's not really too bad of an assumption there, I guess, because that's actually true. Anyway, the detective character does interview this the building's yeah, there's some other person that gets interviewed, and so is Elizabeth's crucifix, but he refused to speak. Later on, the detective character does meet up with Elizabeth's gay roommate and close friend, Jimmy. Jimmy recounts his friendship with Elizabeth, whom he says that was one of the few people in his life that treat him with some kind of a compassion, I guess you would say. So there's that. Jimmy tells that Elizabeth had acted rather crazy before the day of her death for whatever reason. So I'm making some kind of references to say there's a new rich client. So okay, there was that. Like I was saying, folks, the things get pretty wild in this movie, as they should. It's a bizarre horror film, so it's supposed to get weird when you think about it. So there's that, obviously. And man, that's the thing, though. It's kind of like a detective story kind of a thing. So I don't see why not. Anyways, might as well, I guess. But anyway, would I recommend this? I guess I would because I like to just speak about this kind of stuff. If it's worth a watch, I would say so, of course. And that's the thing, though. This is definitely one of those times of course, where I like talking about stuff like this because they don't make these types of movies like they used to. They really don't. And, I mean, yes, of course, I mentioned this quite a few times before. This is not the only time I spoke about this kind of a thing, so here we are. The casting for this film actually does a pretty good job here when it comes to the cast and characters, how the actors are supposed to be played, some type of individuals, of course, making it believable. So yes, the acting here was actually pretty solid. Actually, I do like that. So the casting was actually well done, folks. Of course, they like that. Anyway, for those who have not seen it, yes, I will definitely recommend it. And I have to say that the way that this was choreographed wasn't too bad either. Yes, just because it should be cheaply made, it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be party choreographed, of course. Anyway, but like I was saying, it does do some obvious effort to be done here, of course. And by the way, folks, just so you know, there's more than one version of this that was released, just so you know. But anyway, I just thought to let y'all know about that. But anyway, I would definitely say that it was at least an attempt to make stuff more creative, trying to be more interesting when it comes to this kind of stuff. I would do wish I would actually take more risks. Well, movies nowadays, anyway, would make an attempt to make this more a bit more interesting, really, because it just seems like a lot of people nowadays don't even try. Not really. I mean, of course, there were some exceptions to that, obviously, but still, it just seems like a lot of the movies nowadays, it's just too few and too in between that would actually like it, really, unfortunately. But as for this film, I would definitely say it's like a murder mystery kind of a thing. That's how it comes off for the most part. A murder mystery. Oh yeah. So yeah, this detective type character, this investigator, he does attempt to do what he wants to do as a way to help out the people, I guess. Anyway, I'm gonna say that this is definitely something is I would say is nicely done in the grand scheme of things. I did like the fact that it tries to have something of a thrill to some extent. Ultimately, it's a horror movie, of course. If you think about it. So, of course, this may not be for everyone, obviously, but that's fine. I'm not really the one to follow trends on YouTube, as if that wasn't obvious enough. So there you go, I guess. I reckon. But anyway, I would say that this is definitely worth a watch, at least as far as I'm concerned, anyway. I'll give this a Novaval rating of a 7.0 out of 10, because it's a 7.0 out of 10 for me. So, of course, as always, thanks for watching and take care. Until next time, see ya. Oh, yeah, later.